Here we are with Simon Parr. Hello, mate.
Hello, how are you?
Yeah.
Thanks for having me back on.
Well, we didn't frighten anybody off last
No,
time.
I know, so it
So,
wasn't that bad, so you've had me back on.
well, we've had numerous conversations about the mod revival.
Yes.
So should we just jump straight in?
Yes,
And then,
let's do it.
because I think everybody knows you work for Beach, your heritage brands,
Yeah.
and we'll get to talk about that later.
Yep.
We're going to talk about mod revival shoes.
Yep.
And we're going to start right at the start of what I will argue is the mod revival, is with the Jam shoe. I don't know, Luke, if you've got that on the close-up
Which
camera.
is my... Sorry, they're in such a state, but they're actually mine. But,
Yeah.
yeah.
But
That is the Gibson's shoe, which Roger Daltrey, he wore them in The Who. Paul Weller, well, the Jam wore them as well.
yeah.
And then even, I watched an old programme, Oh Boy or whatever it was, and they were wearing them in that
Yes,
as well.
I've got some
So the
pictures of
50s.
I've got pictures of Rory Storm and the Hurricanes
Yes,
wearing them.
yes,
Yeah,
yes,
and somebody put up last night, because we put this out to people to sort of put bits things up, and somebody put BB King in 1956, I think,
Yeah,
somewhere in America wearing a very similar
Yeah,
pair. So
yeah.
I'm assuming that's the lineage.
Yeah.
But the Jam started wearing them in '77.
Yes.
Now I've been privileged enough to ask Mr. Buckler, where did they get them?
Ah,
And I
okay.
thought, oh, would they have done something really clever and gone and had them made?
Yeah.
And do you know what he did?
What do you do?
Apparently, one morning when they had the money to buy the suits, they went and got the shoes from Shelley's.
Shelley's. Well, funny you should say
Funny
that.
you should mention that.
But I have here, which I stole from my brother. This is an original poster, Shelley's
that.
shoes. Now, if you look at the top row, there's 6 shoes that the Jam would have worn. And the beauty is that what would happen, you'd see Paul Weller on Top of the Pops on a Thursday wearing these shoes. You could go to Carnaby Street on a Saturday and buy them because he'd already been in like the Monday or the Tuesday
Yes.
and bought the shoes from the shop. So you got the Gibson, the bowling shoe, the stage shoe. They're all there, but some of these shoes are really weird.
I love the fact that it says here, for proof, see the Snap album for Shelley's in the fridge.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
which is funny you
Is
should
that
say
inside, isn't it?
Yeah. So Snap album
Yeah.
inside. There's the fridge.
Oh, yeah.
And you can see it says Shelley's, so they're all wearing the stage shoe. And this is the one with the buckle on, isn't
Yes.
it, Andy?
Yep. And for kids out there who are interested in that sort of thing, we've got that coming out next year. We think we're one of the first people to do that.
think
Well,
you
since
are.
back in the day.
And again, this is
It's so iconic,
all
isn't
mod
it?
cons, and Bruce is wearing the shoes. He's got some
Monkey
monkey
boots.
boots on.
Yeah.
And then on the front here, they're wearing the bowling shoes.
Yes.
So yeah. So these, they called them Jam shoes, but they would have bought them from Shelley Shoes.
Well, some people were saying that Melandi did some bits and pieces and stuff like that. I know the story about Melandi doing the shoes, but I want to go through an order of how. So we talk about Shelley's. They did mail order. One of the that's called. We're obviously an internet business.
Yeah.
But in those days, was it in Sounds and NME?
Yeah.
They used to run adverts, and you could literally mail order them, couldn't you?
So I mean, they were $16.99.
60.
My first wage packet in 1980 was 26 quid.
Yeah.
So that's over half my wages to buy
Yeah,
a
yeah.
pair of Jam shoes. So I was lucky enough to go to Carnaby Street because I worked for John Lewis and I was a window dresser. And the idea was that we went to London and got inspiration from the windows
Yeah.
like Selfridges, which we never did. We just went straight to Carnaby Street and straight to the King's Road.
Yeah, of course.
So you get a poster, take it home, and then you would do mail ordering, and it was £1.
I know, it's amazing.
So you
isn't it?
send your postal order
Postal
off.
off. We used to have to wait to cash, didn't they?
And it says 21 days before you got your Jam
It's
shoes.
just a.
So yeah, there was no internet, there was no.
I mean, we're
eBay.
next day. We're next day here at Mod Shoes. You know,
21
order.
days to
I
get
know.
your shoes.
Yeah, that's just amazing.
I know.
But let's just go off at a tangent for a bit with the shoes. Some people have been a bit funny about the Jam shoe, like this classic one here, and they sort of say, it's not a mod shoe, it's not this, that, and the other. But I suspect that a lot of us young mods at the time, as much as we were mods, we were Jam fans.
Yeah.
And it was such an alike. Like Skinheads had boots, Ted's had like crepe shoes.
Yeah.
This was a way of saying, I'm into the Jam.
Yeah,
this
yeah.
is me. This
Yeah.
is what it's about. And I think that the identity thing, and that we used as the flyer of this show, 4 lads who were obviously in a band or
Yeah,
something,
yeah.
all wearing Jam shoes.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was such a. And it didn't seem weird.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, if you look at, you've got the red, white, and blue ones over
Yeah,
there. You've
yeah.
got the bowling shoes, and they're quite flamboyant shoes. I had a pair of red, white, and blue shoes like these, And I went to a youth club in Ely wearing these, and that's quite a statement. You know, whether I would wear red, white, and blue shoes now, I'm not sure. But and again, the bowling shoes you get, they're actual Shelley's ones, aren't they?
Yeah, these are proper a pair of Shelley's ones.
Yeah.
Chisel toe,
But
proper
you know,
chisel toe.
but you would see the Jam on top of the pops wearing these.
Or the
and
LPs.
then,
Everybody slaved over those record covers, didn't
Absolutely,
they? As kids, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now,
I mean, on the back as well.
do you want a story that might not be true?
Oh, go on then.
Right.
Can I jump in before you,
Yeah.
Chloe? The caption competition didn't work.
Oh, okay.
So
We'll do it again in a
should we,
minute.
flip the caption up when you're ready, just so
Yeah,
people can
okay.
have a look at it.
Luke, can we just show the picture of George Harrison quickly?
No, because I'm now showing the caption competition.
Oh, okay. Just do the caption competition for a second. So, sorry, guys.
It's all
This
going
is-
swimmingly.
Yeah, obviously.
Is it now working?
It's everybody wants to do the caption competition because you
Here we
win some
go.
free stuff. So it's on there. It's a great shot. It's oh, I've forgotten the guy's name. It's Roger Moore, and who's the other guy, Luke?
Christopher Lee.
Christopher Lee. That's it. Yeah. Tell me when you flicked it off, and we'll carry on.
Yep.
Good man. So could you flick up the picture of George Harrison I put on? Can you do that? Is it on? Now, you haven't seen this picture,
No.
but there's a picture of George Harrison from 1966, and I believe it's them filming for the Paperback Writer video or for French TV or something like that.
Yeah.
Now, our good friend Terry Rawlings
Yep.
tells me that him and Paul Weller were looking at that picture.
Ah.
And if you look at that picture, what have I just done with the jams, those that's it, stay shoes. If you look at that picture, see where this is going.
see.
He's got a pair of very 60s shoes. Now they don't have this bit, but they do have this bit.
Oh, right.
And they're not coloured, but they've got this long, thin bit down
So
the
that was
front.
the inspiration for these shoes.
Well, apparently. But the story evolves more, certainly with Terry Rawlings' story. So this is the story I'm going to tell everybody now.
Yeah.
Terry Rawlings must have been like two sheets to the wind knowing him, and he probably was when he telling me the story. But apparently him well, does he says, could you get those shoes copied? And Terry went, I know a man who could copy those shoes.
Yeah.
So he took the picture, went along and said, can you copy these shoes? And the bloke was made, yeah, I can do that, it'll be fine, you know what I mean? And when he come back, the shoes that George Harrison are wearing are suede,
Yeah.
right, for a start.
Yeah.
They're not red, white and blue, and they certainly haven't got these stripes on the
So
side.
this is the shoe that they created.
This is the shoe that they
okay.
created.
And then Shelley sold it.
Well, this is, and the only
I
person...
believe it.
Well, would you believe
I
Terry?
believe anything Terry says.
So it's a mistake.
Yeah.
But it's a pretty
But
good
yeah,
mistake.
how
Yeah.
cool is that?
I know.
I love that story.
yeah.
Well, I believe it.
So even if Terry's telling fibs, which is probably true, yeah, you know,
not saying
it's a good story. But again, I think Strangetown was the first video with these. I think so. That'd been
Probably.
'79.
Yeah.
And like you say, if you'd have seen it on Top of the Pops,
Yeah.
you would have gone. Now we've mentioned bowling shoes. We can talk a bit more about that later. One thing I wanted to talk about is some of the other shoes, though, that part of the revival. We've got some Chelsea boots over there.
Yeah, and they've got
Desert
the Chelsea boots.
Yeah.
And desert boots. So you got the Beetle boot or the Chelsea boot is on here somewhere. But the desert boot, I mean, obviously Clark's. That's where you used to go to get your school shoes. So
Yeah.
just going back to school and you go and get your school shoes. But they sold the Clark's desert boots.
Yes.
But you could also get other ones. I can't remember what makes they were. But
Yes, somebody said about them today. Because I would have only been 10 then.
Yeah.
So and it's
Well, I'm a
Westbury
lot
also.
older than you. So.
Yeah, you know. Yeah.
But yeah, in '79, when I left school at 16, it was hard to get mod shoes. I mean, the Rude Boy behind you,
Yeah.
you could get those on Ely Market and
Yes, you
Cambridge
could.
Market, but you certainly couldn't get anything else.
No.
And Desi boots, they were very
Well,
hard.
This is where I
Yeah.
think Desert Boots comes in. I think if you look at a lot of the '79 revival bands, they got desert boots on, or a sort of desert boot. But dare I mention it? Is it the Quadrophenia influence?
I think so. Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, later on I'm going to show you the suit that I wore. But if you look at Jimmy, he's actually on that picture.
Yeah, he is.
So he's got a suit that he had made, but he's wearing desert boots. And I've got the Quadrophenia album down here. And for me, in 1979, this is what I had. And I used to reference it because when you pull it out, there's loads of pictures, and there's pictures here.
Yeah.
So this is all I had really, because
That's
we
all
had,
we all of us have.
yeah, you know, there was Richard Barnes' books, which is excuse me. Again, this is a reference.
Yeah.
So this is all really I had. Quadrophenia, this book, to get ideas of,
Well,
of what
that was
to wear.
called the Bible for so long, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
and it's
Yeah.
funny, quite ironic that you and I first started to do this, didn't we?
We did, mate. That's
So
how we
you
got...
use your Fred Perry top and a pair of your jeans and your shoes, and I said, well, why don't you use my Gibson samples?
Yeah.
And we recreated this look, and that's sort of how. So you see it there, the desert boots, the white Levi's.
Yeah.
That is the look. So yeah,
Yes.
I mean, thumbing through that, this is where you get your ideas. And this.
But
is where
that
I
was
got
like,
my
I mean,
ideas.
this come out. They were obviously trying to find stuff that they could find,
Mm.
and then in that book, it kind of cemented it, didn't it,
Yeah,
for everybody?
yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
it's very true. Now we can talk on a bit longer. Me and him can talk all day about this, and I'm aware that we've probably been over our 5 minutes. So we're going to talk a bit more about the mod revival in a little while.
Yes.
And a sort of general